And a very good morning, and set to go with our opening class of the day here on this Friday for the Major League Jumping here at the Desert Horse Park. Going to be another big day of competition coming up for you, and throughout it is going to feature the speed competition that we're going to see in a few, well, right now, and then we're going to be into later on into the evening, 6 o'clock this evening, for our big class. That's the team competition, the culmination of the Major League Jumping, and that is going to be the culmination of 10 stages of the event. The last stage, 6 o'clock tonight for the Desert Flight team competition. But in the meantime, it is the speed class here this morning, kindly sponsored by Interactive Mortgage. And it's Paul O'Shea and Hellcat starting us off for Team Eye Candy. And Paul set to run off into a good start, but unfortunately just tries to cut up to that line and has the Cabana Coast vertical down. A little bit of pressure to put on early on. 22 in all coming in this class here this morning. And Alan Wade, our course designer, once again, being a speed class, has given them a fair bit of space to run at the fences. Faults and time, so a fence stand counting as the 4 faults, but just the 1 spin around, unlike last night's jump-off class that was won by Kyle King in such a very good style against Sam Walker. Back to 10, and we'll see a total of 12 fences in all on this course, but 10, 11, 12 takes them on a serpentine all the way down this arena, so covering the full width of the arena, I suppose, if you want to look at it that way. And down to the adequate fence at the last. So just coming in on that 4 from the early rail at the Cabana Coast fence. Finishing on the 4, 70.75.
First rider, Paul O'Shea, that rider for Ireland. That horse owned by Eye Candy Jumpers out of Wellington, Florida. That was Hellcat. 4 fault score, fence number 4, the time 70.75.
First of our lineup of the, I say, 22 to go in this class.
3 of Zielhoek.
Time allowed of 78 seconds in this, but being a speed, that's going to be less of a concern in this Interactive Mortgage speed class. $36,600 in the first of our 5-star classes of the day. And of course, reminder, tomorrow evening as well will take us to that 5-star Grand Prix Adequan. 5-star Grand Prix as well here from the Desert Horse Park. And again, looking at a 6 o'clock local time start for that. Throughout the day here, 3 classes. This one, 2-star in the midst, and it'll be $36,600 in between. And that will be taking place at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And then tonight, 6 o'clock for the Desert Flight team competition. It's Charlie Jones on course, Gerco. And another one, just a light pole, this time coming at fence 5 again, just trying to chase down that line. Just having that one down, the Dutch bred horse by Arco. For Charlie, and jumping into his first 5-star here this week at the Desert Horse Park, now based here in California. The British rider who had very good success through young riders, now making a name for himself on the senior ranks, just getting a little quicker down that line. Charlie just taking a little pull to steady things down to the Premier Equestrian Fence, one of our sponsors throughout the series of Major League Jumping. And then here across the centre, they can take a little bit of a slicing run at the Golden Horse's Heads fence, the golden planks on there as well. And then the adequate fence to finish off. 70.54, couple of down though on the way. And again, if you're going to go chasing for the lead here, it does run that risk. Just flicks away a couple, finishing on a total of 8 there. 70.54 for Charlie Jones and Gerco the third. 2 gone so far. Another 20 to have a run at this Longines ranking class.
In second place currently. And here's the first rider for the host nation of the USA, Misty Kazar and Viking Delhomme.
Next to the local riders, Californian Misty Kazar and Viking Delhomme. Misty based in LA and riding the Chestnut 12-year-old by Newton de Krieske.
And that's rider Misty Kazar.
Again, having had a very good run through those World Cup shows in the last few weeks.
From last week to this week, jumping up 78
for this rider to
Longines world ranking.
Bring a little of the prize money back home and keep it on home ground here in California. Kyle King doing the work last night. Again, second week for this combination as part of the 5-star. Little touch of the first, but a little wake-up call maybe. Gets a good turn back to this Cabana Coast fence. And clean through the double. Clear will put them in the lead at the moment. And again, remember, it is first and foremost about the jumping in this class. Speed comes into it, but still got to clear the fences. So here again with the vertical, the two verticals with the horizontal lined poles. Still on the clear, jumping well so far. Nice economical turn back to the silver birch oxer. Now she picks up to the next, takes a much tighter run to that golden fence. Final fence looking good, times looking good as well. Going to be around about 70 as well, but going to be home with a 0 score and a nice round for Mystic Asada and Viking Delhomme. And for them, it's going to be a leading spot on the 70 seconds. Leading spot at the moment for the Californian to lead the way. Dead on 70. Paul O'Shea in second on the 4 faults and Charlie Jones in third on the 8. Quite a long way to go in this class though, so fast. Speedy combinations coming towards the end as well. Bliss here is in there with Goodbye. We've got a few others in there. Robert Blanchard, another of the local riders here, but rides, of course, for Ireland. Vanessa Mannix. Jordan Coyle could shake things up with Picador. And as could our next for Australia, Katie Laurie.
This Australian rider.
And Sarah Caruso for Carissa McCall, the 30-year-old by Casal. Katie, again, superb runs this season, especially back onto what is now home ground for her in Canada at Spruce Meadows back in September. Now, very quick turn into that line. This is a faster run than Misty already. Key is leaving them up. Nice tight turn back to the Major League fence. Little touch in there. Keeps on an inside line to these two verticals. Just going to keep them off the second of them. Enough respect there, and again, land and go. Around the Major League icons. Nine across the centre, and then really, it's a run and chance down at this last fence, which she's going to do. This is going to be fast. They get the toes up in the air, and it's much faster at 63.79. Katie Laurie there blowing a hole in the lead. Sarah Caruso 63.79 from them, and so heads the field by, well, six and a bit seconds at this point. Mystic Asar into second there with Viking Delhomme with a nice round from her, but Katie Laurie really chasing from the front. Christian Heineking now, NKH Shiloh, 9-year-old Hanoverian for the German rider for the NKH LLC.
Out of Dallas,
the rider
Texas.
Now these days based in Texas.
Here, young 9-year-old Hanoverian mare.
Part of the Roadrunners team later on today as well. Roadrunners a chance of winning the championship for the team competition. But all, as with all the teams, will depend on today. We're going right to the wire as to who will be that champion. Of course, a lot depends on who gets through and through that first cut-off point in round 1. Katie Laurie really started with a sprint. A little bit wider there. Sarah Caruso. A little bit more of a smaller rocket. This a 9-year-old, little less experienced. Christian doing well so far. Again, gives a little bit of a wider berth there. Just unfortunately, that's going to be one that will move them down the order. Last fence is going to see them in the early 70s in terms of time. Jumps the last to finish on the 4, and it's going to be 72.56, and we'll move them a little bit further down for Christian Heineking into 4th place there with NKH Shiloh. Otherwise, it was going to be into 3rd with that fence if it had stayed up to the Silver Birch, but unfortunately, front legs on that, and that will drop them down the order. So Katie Laurie keeps the lead, 63.79. Has not left much there for them.
2nd place with that time of 70 seconds right on the nose. They were crystal clear as well.
Masses to change around in terms of taking out strides. The last line they can really open up down there and maybe gain some ground. Last night we saw it was in the final run that Kyle King made the difference.
Christian Heineking aboard NKH Shiloh with 4 faults.
Katie Laurie, though,
72.56.
was sprinting from straight out of the starting
Jones
blocks.
for Great Britain. And Gurko 3.
Beautiful day here in California once again at the Desert Horse Park. A little bit chilly yesterday. Sun has returned. Heat has returned.
And at Interactive Mortgage, they understand home ownership is a journey,
well,
but the financing
plenty of enthusiasm for today's big classes.
That's why they live by that common sense rule: faster, smarter, simply
Select
better.
field for this one to go chasing this good
Next
prize
entry
money here this morning, $36,600. Erin Davis Heineking, already seen husband Christian.
And the rider that'll bring us to Erin
with the
Davis
12-year-old by
Heineking.
Levistano, lucky number 11-3. Newer horse for her in the string. So again, last few runs have really been about the exploratory runs for this pair, just getting used to each other.
Erin Davis Heineking, amateur rider for
See
the
how
USA.
much pressure she's going to come on. I don't think she's going to be taking the same kind of run as Katie Laurie, but a nice clear here can put them top 3. Again, for her, just giving herself a bit of space to get to those fences. A little narrowed up oxer there. Deliberate in the execution, but handled well so far as, say, on a newer ride for her. Just starts to flatten off over that Calladay fence. Just costing them before there. Again, unlike the table C that we'll see later, where it's seconds added, it's the fences here making a big difference. Just that last fence to come. On 8 at the moment for Erin. Gets nice and square to the last, and just going to be a little bit of time to add there as well. Going to be 1 for time. 9 in all, 80.57. As I say, a newer pairing coming together yet. Erin Davis Heineking, lucky number 11-3, finishing on a score of 9. Katie Laurie, Misty Cassar, and Paul O'Shea, top 3 so far this morning in this Interactive Mortgage Speed. Jordan Coyle
is our leading time.
This is very much in his wheelhouse now. He could really shake things up with a Picador for the Irishman.
Yeah, this is Picador. Picador owned by Elon Farm.
This could be one of the big challengers to Katie Laurie's time. 14-year-old by Lupical. Jordan, who actually rode the very first winning gold medal round in the team competition for Major League. That was back in Traverse City in July.
And Jordan Coyle and his younger brother Daniel also represent Ireland International Competition. Picador, 14-year-old gelding, horse hired by Lupical.
Again, starting off like Katie in the same forward style. Just holding back so they don't run into that fence. Gets a nice turn when they land again, just trying to take that pace off as they land. But unfortunately, doesn't pay off in the turn back to the Cabana Coast fence. Again, he knows a fast 4 faults also puts them in the money at the moment. Still a good turn back here. That was pretty tight. That's obviously not going to catch Katie, but could go into third place. It's going to be a very quick time as well. Going to be in the same sort of area as Katie Laurie. And he's taken the foot off the gas a little bit, having had that early rail just in the last couple of fences, just a little bit steadier on those. So forward is 64.15. He does go into third, as we said he might do.
Yeah, they are the fastest
third for Jordan Coyle and Picador.
Third place. So our top three: Katie Laurie, Mystic Azar, Jordan Coyle.
So enough pressure on, but maybe if he was chasing for the win, would have put just a fraction more on. Maybe could have got there for Katie. But she's going to stay in front, 63.79 so far. Just the 2 clears out of this group at the moment. Vanessa Mannix and Katinka, 25, should be next. Yes, there she is. Canadian with the 12-year-old by Katoki.
In Calgary, Alberta.
Same breeding as, of course, Sarah's McLean Ward's Katoki, which is by Katoki, which is a very fast horse indeed. So see if the same makeup is in this. It could well be in the genes for the speed. And the Canadian is going to give this a run. Just goes to get forward to that fence, and unfortunately that comes down. And leaves a toe on that one too. She goes wider on the turn to settle things back again to get them off this vertical. Not quite right there. Just a little bit of discussion going on between the two. Vanessa doing the right thing, just coming down right to the walk. Little pat, relax. Fired up in the early run, but just wasn't quite working out. That's better. Vanessa doing the right thing, having put them back on track. Now looking to get home on a more positive note, which they have put a much more positive spin on this now. I say, sometimes just those early runs can get things a little too fired up as you try and chase a very fast time. Sometimes it works, even for the best. And sometimes it just doesn't quite work out. There we go. This has been a really solid finish for them. Good rebuild there. Gave it a shot, didn't quite work out, and it's going to be a score of 18 there, 98 95, with time added in there for Vanessa Mannix and Katinka, 25. Leaves us about 7 left to have a run at this leading time so far. Katie Laurie of Australia leading the way, Mystic Azar in second. The only 2 clears at the moment. Again, as those that go later on, they've got a little bit of decision time, whether they're going chasing the leading time and going for the clear, or maybe they think, oh, some of these are a little bit easy to just flick away. I'll go a little bit steadier, but I'll pick up some good prize money by finishing, say, 3rd or 4th. All depends what your aim is for the day. Robert Blanchett and Chardonnay. Westphalian by the very fast Comme Il Faut.
Launching World Cup jumping at Las Vegas
10-year-old for the Irishman.
This past fall, aboard this horse, Chardonnay.
Out of a mare that was by Jus de Pomme, which was, of course, an Olympic gold medalist. Starts with speed, but goes wider there to get the angle. Seven down to the butterflies. And again, 1 or 2 just tried to cut that line, and the Cabana Coast has come down. He's given himself a little bit more room to that, and it's worked out. And just rolls forward through that double. Again, all the time they're trying to put the speed on, it just causes you to stretch out and flatten off a little bit. That's a kickback that causes that one, unfortunately. Robert again getting a little bit more space there to get a good jump over the silver birch fence. Nice pace the last, but looking for a good solid finish. Just moves a little bit to the right, and it is going to be 73.28 and 8 on the scorecard. It looks for Robert Blanchett and Chardonnay.
Robert Blanchett with 2 fences down.
So still Katie, Laurie, Misty Cassar and Jordan Coyle as the top 3 again. They put a very fast round in earlier on, just puts a bit of pressure on the rest. Some have tried to chase it, but it is not so easy to do at speed. Kendall Gath, Jamaica van Kattebeek,
platform out of Costa Mesa, California.
The 12-year-old by Cooper van der Heffink.
Van Kindle, also the creator of
One
that
of the younger riders in the field in her early 20s now. Kendall getting into her first 5 stars last week in this. Again, 2 weeks on the bounce, giving them a great opportunity. And again, just unfortunately unsettled coming down to that fence, sensibly saying wait. Now, nice quiet run to the butterflies. Gets the bascule over that. Same as any of us doing something very quickly. It just all, when it goes wrong, it all starts to come up very, very fast indeed. Sensibly taking a circle. Putting themselves back into a nice rhythm. And as I say, for her, it's a good experience, couple of weeks for her too, to get in over this set of bigger tracks with some top designers as well. Michelle Valancourt, our course designer last week. Alan Wade, our course designer this. And heading for home on a more positive note. And there we go. Finishes with a solid run at the last. Time to add as well. 14 in total. 102.65 for Kendall Gath and Jamaica for Uruguay.
And that was the rider for Uruguay.
6 left.
Jamaica van Kattenbeek.
In this morning's Interactive Mortgage sponsored class. Mavis Spencer, Concala. Mavis, who's going to join in the commentary box later on for the team final.
And Mavis Spencer aboard Concala.
This is going to be tonight at 6 o'clock local time. Georgie Musgrave Segerman's Concala, the Holsteiner by Contendro. Again, Mavis into her first 5 stars here for the 2 weeks at the Desert Horse Park here in California.
Our next horse owned by Georgie Musgrave Segersman. This is a 12-year-old Holsteiner gelding. Horse out by Contendro 2. The Mervolonia by Cadini 2.
Another of the Californian natives, but has ridden across the world, east, west, and over in Europe. Now with a lovely string of horses from Georgian supporters. Great opportunity for her, and she's worked very hard for it. Now, puts on the pressure to that Oxer. Now, just got to take care at this one as well. Again, being a narrowed up Oxer, they're just encouraging you to land, get the turn, which she does, and just got to take enough care at the Cabana Coast fence. Does that nicely. Again, just the 2 clears so far, so a clear round would put them top 3. Gets a nice turn in there, gives herself a little bit more space, not quite as daring as if she was going for the leading type, but this could well, if she puts a little bit of pace onto the last, get into second place. Going to run very close, may just be into third, and it is, but only by a fraction, 70.37. And good round from Ava Spencer and Konkala for the US rider, 70.37. And well played, playing the percentages there, going into third spot for her. Casey Laurie in the lead, Misty Cassar just a fraction quicker at 70 seconds on the dot.
United States in second and in the third spot
for Mavis. 5 left to go in this morning's FEI 5-star speed.
And just walk into the ring, the rider for Ireland, Mark Kinsella, and a barrel of D'Argent. Horse owned by Cinema Horses, out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Is a 10-year-old Self-Francais stallion, sired by Tinka's Boy.
First of 5 left to go. Ireland's Mark Kinsella, also US-based, of course. Barrel d'Argent, horse into its first international classes here last week. The 10-year-old by Tinka's Boy for the Sydenham Horses Limited. Mark Kinsella, Juan Carlos Garcia, Bliss Here's John Perez and Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen are the 5 left to go. Just dragging that one off behind, unfortunately. 1 of 2 so far. As say, it's been a couple of weeks of getting experience for them. Just cuts down on that fence at 7. Mark taking a turn there. Build up some nice rounds last week, but a little bit of communication disagreement at the moment.
And the wave right there and retiring Mark Kinsella and Barrel d'Argent.
It's not quite working today, so they're deciding to retire.
Just 4 remaining, just 4 left.
4 left. Juan Carlos Garcia, double Olympian.
5-star speed.
Rides for Italy these days for the Colombian rider. And it is the Poden Farms Captain Jack.
The rider for Italy. Juan Carlos Garcia aboard Captain Jack. This horse owned by Poden Farms out of Wellington, Florida.
For him, for Juan Carlos, now linked to the Neil Jones stable. Neil Jones with bases here in the US from East and West Coast. And of course, European as well. It's a nice run down that line, and again, turn and go. Just gets out a little bit down that line. Just drifts coming into that double, and unfortunately has the second part down. And going much wider here. Just working on the pairings, jump together and getting things going. Horse that's jumped a raft of international classes with a couple of different riders now. Being a good winner for the Poden Farms before now. Again, Juan Carlos just putting the mileage in with this pair as a pair. Good experienced rider looking for a good finish here. And doing the right thing, as I say, good educational round. There we go. Nice one to finish. So it is going to be a bit of time to add there as well. Finishing on a total of 11:88.99 for Juan Carlos Garcia and Captain Jack for the Italian. 3 left to go.
For Italy and
Still Katie Laurie of Australia well out in the lead at the moment,
Let's
63.79.
11th right now, and that is the rider for Uruguay. No, Kendall Guth, Jamaica, Van Kattenbeek. And 12th, the rider for Canada, Vanessa Mannix and Katinka 25. Australia still with that leading time. And that's a time of 63.79 seconds, just 7 remaining. And here's entry number, just 3 remaining, sorry. This is entry number 7. This is Goodbye and Bliss Here's from Las Vegas. Sears holds the Longines World Ranking of 65th
So
in the
Bliss
world.
Here's Goodbye, John
West Coast,
Perez,
California.
Tentacion, LS Lacia, and Kelly Cruciotti, Van der Veen, Halifax. The 3 left to come in our opening class.
The 2021 FEI Jumping Nations Cup this year.
Bliss on the wind-up. There's a pair that have really excelled in these classes through the season. Gets a big jump over there again. She's just got to keep the control, land, and go. Again, just as they come on that turn, just takes you out to the left. This is where Katie Laurie kept such a tight rein around that line. Bliss is certainly moving though. Just steady there. Keeping the balance between pace and control, and just loses a little of the second at the Premier Equestrian fence. So on the 4. Chase down the middle. Fast 4 will still get them in the money. Just holding things up as they go to the last. And comes over there at 69.25 on the 4 for Bliss Here's and Goodbye for the Bridgeside Farms of Las Vegas. And puts her top 5 into 5th place for Bliss. Katie Laurie leads the way. Sarah Caruso clear in 63.79. She's some 6 and a bit seconds ahead, 6.3.
And that's the first of 2, and that is the horse ridden on by John Perez. This rider for Colombia. This is a 9-year-old mare.
63.21, if I'm going to be exact about it, for Katie Laurie ahead of the field. Misty Cassar on the 70 seconds.
And John Perez, he is at
63.79 from Katie Laurie. And Mavis Spencer, Concala. Never said maths was my strong point. Colombia and John Perez, Tentacion LS Lacia, the 9-year-old by Montebello LS. With a 9-year-old combination here for the Colombian, riding for the Rehan family. Again, at the moment, nicely just dropping into a gear and keeping coming. Still good so far, really. The 3 clears at the moment. Mavis Spencer in 3rd on 70.37. Just catches that rail. Couple there for this Mexican bred horse. Again, not going to be far away from the times, but it's going to be 72.36. On the 4 is going to put them into 7th place now for John Perez and Tentacion LS Lacia, leaving us 1 left to go. Door is wide open. Katie Laurie is there at 63.79. Well, I say it's wide open. She's kept it pretty tightly closed at the top. But the
And
slots
Kelly
open.
Cruciani
Second spot, there's a
Vanderveen
6 and a bit
final rider. This
second
rider
gap
for the
between
USA.
first and second at the moment.
Aboard Halifax, Van de Konijnenberg.
Will she go all the
Banner
way? We'll
Farms,
see. Kelly
last to go.
Cruciati Vanderveen, will she get there fast enough on this 14-year-old by Codex? A little bit of an older horse. This horse Halifax so got the experience there, unlike some of the 8 and 9s we've seen. In theory, shouldn't be afraid to take a run at this.
And Halifax, Van de Konijnenberg, 14-year-old gelding.
Last
Our
out
last
of
to go,
our
leading time,
Interactive Mortgages
63.79.
speed this morning. Edges out to the right, gets a nice curve in the line from 1 to 2. Already a little steadier. Katie Laurie looks like it's going to take home this trophy, but as I say, there's space there to get top 3. Little touch of the Calais vertical. Tight enough turn as they stretch out over the Major League fence. Looking to shake up those top 3. Kelly Cruciati. Chance to go, it's going to get very close, could go into second with this one, and maybe just a little over that. It's 70.43. In fact, we'll go fourth, because second, third, and fourth are very close. 70 seconds exactly puts Misty Kassar in the end into second. Third for Mavis Spencer on 70.37 and 70.43 for Kelly Cruciati. Vanderveen, but the lady well out in front and will be our winner by a massive margin is Katie Laurie of Australia, and Sarah Caruso, 63.79, smashes it out of the park, and will take home the trophy here for this ranking class here this morning. John Coyle will complete the top 5 on the 4 faults. Its fastest 4 faulter at 64.15, got the closest to her in terms of time. And 6th place to Bliss Here's Goodbye, 7th to Paul O'Shea and Hellcat, and 8th to John Perez Tentacion LS La Cia. Winner is Katie Laurie of Australia, Sarah Caruso. And what a round from her. Drops into top gear all the way around. Easy win for her to start off the day, but she did not leave any meat on the bone for the rest. Well, it is going to be Australian National Anthem we hear in a few moments' time. Reminder, we're back later on. Of course, we're streaming the classes in between. There'll be the 2-star class at 1 o'clock. And then also this evening at 6, we're going to see the team competition run up to that from around 1:45, 5:45 to be absolutely exact local time here to California. We will see you then for conclusion of Major League Team Jumping for 2021.
And great competition here, the Interactive Mortgage FEI 5-star speed. We're going to bring our top 3 back into the ring, and Australia will have that win here in our FEI 5-star speed. Kindly sponsored by Interactive Mortgage. And they understand home ownership is a journey. The financing shouldn't be. And borrowers hope for painless transactions, transparency, communication, and quick service. But the refinance process can be a daunting endeavor at best until now. Interactive Mortgage gives borrowers complete interactive control of the loan process, and they know today's borrower knows what they want. They don't need to be sold. They simply want to choose and fund quickly. Interactive Mortgage's process allows you the freedom to choose what's right for you. Get your own rate, upload your own secure files, save yourself thousands in fees. Get back what you deserve. It's common sense. Faster, smarter, simply better. Our wonderful guests joining us for these presentations for the Interactive Mortgage FEI 5-Star Speed. And on behalf of Interactive Mortgage, Greg DeLong. And on behalf of the Desert International Horse Park, Steve Hankin. Bring our top three back in the ring. So we'll bring our top three back in the ring in just a second. Third place, that will go to Mavis Spencer and Goncalves. So third place, just walking the ring. That's Mavis Spencer for the USA. Goncalves, her mount. In second as well, Misty Kazar of Viking Delhomme. So the United States in second and in a third place. With Misty Kazar in second, Mavis Spencer in third. But brand new cooler aboard that winning horse right there. That is Sarah Caruso, the horse owned by Chris McCall. And the rider for Australia, Katie Laurie. So another win for Katie Laurie. We'll get the grooms for our top three into the Grand Prix Stadium. So only grooms for Sarah Caruso, Viking Delhomme, and Goncalves. So Australia with the win. USA in second and in a third spot. Well, that winning time, that was absolutely untouchable, 63.79. We'll have our riders just hop off their mounts there. And our top three will have you join us behind the podium. And great to have Greg DeLong on behalf of Interactive Mortgage joining us for these presentations. And Greg DeLong, Interactive Mortgage, doing so much for the equestrian sport. Also joining us on behalf of the Desert International Horse Park, our CEO, Steve Hankin. Let's meet a rider in a third place as she steps onto the podium, Mavis Spencer. Stepping up in second, Misty Kazar. And our champion for Australia, Katie Laurie. Mavis Spencer for the USA in third. But again, our champion aboard, Sarah Caruso. What a great rider. As always, she is absolutely fantastic for Australia, Katie Laurie. And as always, great to have Greg DeLong joining us on behalf of Interactive Mortgage, our wonderful sponsors of the FEI 5-Star Speed here this morning. And what a great day of competition. And remember, with Interactive Mortgage, their process allows you the freedom to choose what's right for you. Get your own rate, upload your own secure file, save yourself thousands in fees, and get back what you deserve. It's common sense, faster, smarter, simply better.